all for joining me today. I wanted to talk about something that is going to be happening to our moon on July 27th of this year, because I think it holds a lot of significance to both people who follow Christ and biblical teachings, and also to the occult world that is in control of everything we see, pretty much. So I wanted to go over all of that. And I also wanted to talk about all of these different events that keep on happening in our sun, moon, and stars, and kind of give you the big picture of it. But here on July 27th is an extra special event because it will be the longest recorded blood moon this century. So a blood moon is a full lunar eclipse, and when this happens, the moon changes to a blood red color. During this eclipse on July 27th, it will last for almost 2 hours, which is just crazy. Now, it's not going to be visible to everybody. People in parts of Australia, Asia, Africa, Europe, and South America will be able to see it. But if you don't live in that part of the world, then you can still watch it live on timeanddate.com, which I will be leaving a link for in the description. And now, while every blood moon or every eclipse really is a time for the occult to do their rituals and sacrifices, this one will be especially important to them, not only because of the blood coloring to the moon, which represents, of course, sacrifice and initiation to the occult, but just the sheer length of it, and also it being on July 27th. 27 being a very important number. I think a lot of us know about the 27 Club.
We're going to spend a little time talking about the total lunar eclipse on July 27th and 28th of 2018. And it's special because it is also a blood moon. We had a blood moon there in January as well. What really changes this one up is that it's going to be the longest total lunar eclipse of the 21st century. That is what they say, and that's according to those reports. The totality lasting for 103 minutes. And so that is awesome. So for those of you who are in its path, hopefully you'll be out there and you can look at it and really totally enjoy this beautiful orange moon. Now, when we have lunar eclipses in astrology, it's all about closing certain doors to the past. This is where the universe helps us all to get rid of all unnecessary luggage and baggage, which is holding us down and back from where it is we want to aim, right? And we're all wanting to move forward in life. We all have our goals, and sometimes we can feel that things are dragging due to the surplus of unnecessary weight that we're carrying. So for that reason, we want to look at what we want to let go of. And the good news about this, so I don't want anybody to think, oh my God.
34 minutes. Chapters are ending. Doors are slamming shut. Stories are at a turning point. Eras are shifting from one to the next. And life as we know it is disintegrating in us and around us. That's the power of the total lunar eclipse that is this month's Aquarius full moon. It's bringing revelations, departures, and endings that change our emotions, viewpoints, relationships, specific connections, as well as ground rules and agreements, networks.
Lunar eclipse of the century, coming up this month. A total lunar eclipse will rise over the night sky this summer, and it will be the longest eclipse of the century, according to NASA. On July 27th, a lunar eclipse will be fully visible for 1 hour and 43 minutes. But you may have to travel to see it since the eclipse will only be visible in parts of South America, much of Africa, the Middle East and Central Asia. A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, Earth, and moon line up perfectly, casting Earth's shadow on the moon. The eclipse will be partially visible for 3 hours and 55 minutes. This also makes it the longest time an eclipse will be partially visible between the years 2011 and 2020. A lunar eclipse always happens within 2 weeks of a solar eclipse. This summer, 2 partial solar eclipses will take place on July 12th and August 11th. These can be seen from Australia, and parts of Europe and Asia, respectively. A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, Earth, and moon fall in line with one another, bringing the moon into line with the shadow cast by the Earth. When this happens, Earth blocks any sunlight hitting the moon, and casts its own shadow onto its surface as well. Lunar eclipses can be extended based on the location of the moon in its orbit. For the upcoming eclipse, the moon will also be at its farthest point from Earth, known as apogee. As a result, the moon will look smaller than usual, and consequently, the time it takes to cross through the shadow cast by the Earth will be longer than usual. The last notable lunar event was at the start of 2018, when a super blood blue moon graced our skies.